Huzzah and well met, serfs, farmers, and peasants, and providers of the kingdom. So today, we're going to talk about chicken farms. And I will very quickly address that yes, I had a medical condition for a couple of weeks, but I am on the mend, recovering well, and about to get back to work as intended. And I do appreciate all the positive thoughts and prayers sent my way. So, thank you for those. And without further ado, I'm going to keep this video short to minimize the strain on my voice because we're still not 100%. But as I said, today we're going to be talking about chicken farms, uh, infinite amounts of eggs, feathers, raw or cooked chicken. So, the easiest way to build an egg farm is to stand a bunch of chickens on a hopper, or in a hopper as it were, and you will just collect eggs over time. Make sure that the walls to their little chicken cell are 1.5 blocks tall, and the chickens cannot ever leave, especially since they sit down in the hopper a little bit. They can't jump out. And you will get nothing but eggs from this farm. It's fairly straightforward. Perhaps you've built my pumpkin patch farm and you are about to make the biggest mountain of pumpkin pies any ever created by man. So this farm is a very simple farm. We'll talk about this circuit back here first. If you place a redstone that powers around to itself, or a redstone torch that powers a line that goes to the top of itself, it will put itself out, which will kill the signal, which will turn the torch back on, and it will just keep looping, but it goes so quickly that it will eventually burn out. If you do it to both sides, they will keep reigniting each other so that you constantly have this ticking. This powers our dispenser here, and these all must be dispensers for any of these farms, which throws an egg at this slab in front of it, which results sometimes in juvenile chickens atop the slab. Once they grow up, they will suffocate inside of this brick. They'll take damage as if when you're digging and sand buries you. The chicken meat, which will be raw in this case, and feathers will be pulled through the slab by the hopper, and there you have it. Raw chicken, feathers. Feathers used to be much more essential in Minecraft, as that was the way to get arrows, but now you can trade for them. And if you have an experienced banking smoker, I know experienced banks don't work anymore like they used to, but you could still be cooking a ton of chicken if you'd like. And once you break the furnace or the smoker, there is a big ball of experience still at the bottom if you run them through via hoppers, so just keep that in mind. You could also use it to trade to a butcher villager. These haven't been running for very long, but it does not take them long to accumulate a great deal of raw chicken and feathers. Feathers you may just have to incinerate or throw away, or maybe you could use them for arrows. Like I said, they're not very essential any longer. So this variation on the farm makes a couple improvements. Instead of our wacky torch clock, we're going to use a pair of observers who are constantly observing the other observing them. And they will continue to update and just click back and forth, back and forth. So that also powers our dispenser. Same thing, throws our chicken eggs onto the slab and they could hatch. In this case, when they grow up, they get stuck in lava, and your result is cooked chicken and feathers. So it automatically cooks them because any monster or mob that dies while on fire drops cooked version of its meat. We've also taken and extended our chicken holding cell here so that we have all hoppers. You can put carpet over them like I've done on this one, but it really doesn't make that much difference. These all place eggs into this dispenser. This constant ticking just makes sure that any eggs that fall into the dispenser will eventually be blasted onto the slab, and I don't know what the chances are any longer of an egg hatching when thrown, but you get the idea. There's plenty of chickens here waiting to grow up and be cooked. So right here, the dispenser and slab, hopper, and chest are placed in front of an alternative clock here, and I didn't think it necessary to show the entire build once again, but our comparator is checking inside our dispenser. It powers this repeater, powering this block, powers this redstone, which comes back and depowers our comparator. So as long as there are items in that dispenser, it will continue cycling and firing and firing and firing until it's empty. It gets that because once this block is powered, this redstone comes through here to this repeater, powering this block, which is what powers the dispenser to fire. Technically a second circuit, but they're working off from the same main power source. I'm going to start using yellow instead of light green to differentiate with my blue circuits. I think it'll be easier on viewers who might have trouble seeing colors. You can help me understand in the comments if you'd like. I don't have much experience with color blindness, but I would hope that I can do better for my viewers if we do have some who are struggling with that. So, anyways, this here is my favorite uh, chicken and egg farm. And I say chicken and egg because you can change the switch so that the only thing we're getting through here is eggs. When this switch is turned off, the this is technically this is off because it's not powering this block or repeater or this block, which means this hopper is fine. You will get only eggs. The chickens will lay eggs into this hopper, which goes directly to the dispenser. The hopper beneath will just drain the eggs straight into the chest. Turn this on, and this will lock this hopper so that the eggs may not leave the dispenser except when the dispenser fires. So we may see that happen here as I'm discussing this. Once again, slab, lava above, cook the chickens as after they grow up. You'll get cooked chicken. You can trade this out for a regular block like in this farm here so that you get raw chicken instead of the lava. Just make sure when you're doing these things that you block off the lava on all sides. You know, practice safe handling of buckets of lava, that type of thing. This is a little dissection of this one so it's easier to see how to build it. What you'll start with is the chest, and then two hoppers facing into it, a dispenser facing forward, same as that one, but you'll have a slab in front of it. This is your hopper where your chickens will stay. There's a comparator looking at that hopper. When it's powered, it powers this blue block, which turns this torch off. The observer observes that. It observes the torch coming back on in a moment as well. But there is an issue with this farm that it can become jammed up if the dispenser ends up full. So just check on it periodically. Your chickens generally aren't going to lay enough eggs to do that. But if you have a great deal of chickens inside, you could end up having that problem. So like I said, this switch powers this, which shuts the hopper or locks up the hopper, meaning that the eggs need to be fired. Turn it off, chicken and feathers. Turn it on, or I'm sorry, turn it off for eggs, turn it on for chicken and feathers. Obviously, there's nothing here to actually do the work, but you can see from this one, we have both cooked chicken, feathers, and eggs working their way through. Considerations. If you're going to build yourself a farm like this, speaking of having so many chickens inside of a small area, playing on a realm or on a server, keep your chickens limited. It can be taxing on a server to have so many entities, and you don't want to be the player that ruins the experience for other players. These can become lag machines in short order. I've seen them with too many chickens inside, and they will cause the frame rate to chug and the processing power to be really low. So just keep that in mind if you build one of these or a few of these on your base. Um, they can cause issues if you are not careful with how many entities you cram into an area. If you need more chicken, build more farms with fewer chickens inside. The issue is all of the collisions of entities rather than the entities themselves. So having fewer collisions to calculate for the processor spread out amongst more farms will be easier on your server than if you just did many fewer chickens in a greater farm. And with that, I'm going to leave you to build some chicken farms for yourself. Uh, Save me some tenders if you do, and I will see you in the next one. Be blessed on your next quest, folks. Thank you.